Now, if you've ever been incarcerated, I'm about to teach you exactly what to say on a job interview so that you can get that job. Okay. Now, over 20 years ago, I was incarcerated, right? And at the time I was facing 10 years. It was a rough time in my life. And it was something that was very difficult to go through. However, by the grace of God, I only served 2 years, but I have never allowed that experience to hinder me when getting a job. And in fact, it never has been an issue. I speak to a lot of re-entrants, ex-felons, people who are coming back into society after paying their debt. And and so I'm going to teach you exactly what you want to say when you're on a job interview. Okay. And you'll no longer have to worry about the fact that you have a record. Now, to be clear, if you have a financial crime and you're trying to get a job with a bank or right, like this is not going to work for you, right? If you have a crime that's specific to the type of industry that you're trying to get into, like this is not going to help you, right? There's certain crimes that actually prevent you from getting certain type of jobs, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about the regular person who's maybe trying to get a job at Wawa, or maybe trying to get a job whatever with any type of company, when you're just trying to come back into society, and you're coming with the scarlet letter on your chest, where you feel as though, because of what you've done or what you've been through or the fact that you've been incarcerated, you feel as though people are prejudging you. They're looking for a reason to say no, and they don't want to hire you, right? So I'm going to teach you exactly what to say, but I'll start by saying this. Now, you probably already got this from your counselor or whatever when it comes to how you fill out an application, right? So let's just start there, right? On applications, you're going to see, have you ever had a misdemeanor or felony, right? Yes or no. Obviously, you're going to put yes, right? There's no need to lie. But this is the important part, which again, you might already know this, which is when it asks you to discuss what happened. Like, some applications are nosy as hell. Like, they'll tell you to list the crime, to list the state, the court, the you know what I mean? Like the everything. They want a full disposition, right? I got news for you. It ain't none of their damn business. Okay. Because again, unless it's job specific, unless you have like a financial crime that prevents you from working in finance, unless it's something like that specific, then yeah, I wouldn't recommend that you lie about that. I wouldn't recommend that you try to get a job in that industry, right? Because no amount of advice that I'm going to give you is going to work for you. You're going to have to lie. And that's not what I'm suggesting that you do. So you just put on the application, we'll discuss an interview. Now, let me tell you this. Based on how you handle that interview, you're going to find that many times it doesn't even come up. It's not that they don't see it. They may or may not see it, but how you carry yourself in that interview is really going to influence if that person even wants to go down that road, right? Now, in some jobs, some HR people, they have to do their due diligence. And because you've answered the question, they do have to go a little bit deeper and ask you questions. So I want you to understand, they're just doing their job, okay? They're not there to judge you. They're not there to shame you. At the end of the day, you're just applying for a job, okay? But this is exactly what you're going to say, all right? I want you to write this down. If you're watching this video, pause it line for line. I want you to write this down. I want you to rehearse it. I want you to say it in the mirror so many times that it becomes a part of you, okay? So this is what you say. When they ask you, oh, I see here that you were incarcerated. I see here that you have a criminal record. Can you tell me more about it? Okay. Now, it doesn't matter how they phrase their question. Some people might just do it in a generic way. Oh, tell me what happened, right? Or some people might be very specific, and they might be like, oh, what crime did you commit? How long were you locked up for? This, that, and the other. And again, unless it's job related, you don't have to disclose anything at all. This is the line that you're going to write, memorize, rehearse, internalize. And I promise you, after this, you won't have any issue getting any job. If you don't get the job, listen, it wasn't for you. There's more jobs out there. And this is what you're going to say. Ready? Say, yeah, X amount of years ago, 6 months ago, last year, yeah, obviously I do have a felony record. This is what you say. I made a bad decision. However, it's not something that I'm proud of, but it's something that I had to go through to become the person I am today. And that's it. I've said that on dozens of interviews. Mind you, I was incarcerated over 20 years ago, so I've been on a lot of interviews since, right? And anytime that has come up, that's exactly what I say. I'm going to repeat it again for my people in the back. Yes, I made a bad decision, and it's not something that I'm proud of, but it's something that I had to go through to become the person I am today. You see, the thing is that people cannot hang something over you that you are willing to own and that you don't hang over yourself. Okay. So again, you may or may not get the job, but my point is that every time I have said that line, without a doubt, 100% of the time, the recruiter, the interviewer, the manager, the HR person is like, whoa, like they're impressed. Like they're almost happy that I was incarcerated. Because guess what? Without that experience, the candidate that's sitting before them today would not be the same person. And that's really what they're asking. That's really what they're trying to see. Like, hey, do you still have that mindset that caused you to be incarcerated? Or have you been rehabilitated, right? Did you pay your debt to society? Are you ready to be a productive member of society? And when you show them, like, listen, this is part of my story. I cannot erase it, but I wouldn't be who I am without it. They're going to start to see that you, as the individual that you're presenting yourself are as, and they no longer have the ability to weigh that. Now, in full transparency, I still have had interviewers who I can tell that for some reason, like I answered it and they liked the mic drop moment, but they weren't going to hire me. And that's fine. That's God's protection, right? Every opportunity is not for you. You have to be submitted to God's plan and what he has for you. And you may really want that job. You might really think it's going to benefit you, but you don't always know what you don't know. Okay? So, I hope this message blessed you. I ask you, if you know anyone that's been incarcerated before, who's in the job market, who has struggled with imposter syndrome or just the shame of their past, I ask you to please share this with them. All right. Because this word track, I guarantee you, people are going to see you in a new light. Now, if you haven't changed as a person, okay, if you haven't changed as a person, eventually that's going to come up. All right. It's going to come out in the wash and people are going to see, okay, this guy's just a linguist. Right. So that's not what I'm encouraging you to do. I'm talking about people who have paid their debt to society, have put that behind them, and they're looking for a second chance, but they just don't have the words. Okay. So I hope this message blesses you. God loves you. Remember, he has a purpose for your life. Be amazing. Peace.